Hey everybody! Welcome back. Northernlion, the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. One day we're going to accidentally select the Lost, and that will be a happy day. But for now, we got Big Chub, an item I actually kind of like. 2LQQ X TPK. It's not a bad seed in terms of its alphanumeric composition. This is halitosis. This is halitosis. This is halitosis, medically bad breath. This is halitosis, biologically bad breath. Your whisper smells like death, but it's not your fault, it's bacterial infection. Look, there's something there. I can feel it. I'm not gonna say down on my plums, but I can feel it either way. This is halitosis is like a Saturday night, well, maybe a Mad TV level skit. I'm not gonna write the whole thing. I don't know if halitosis is a bacterial infection. I was essentially spinning my wheels there, looking for something to rhyme, and we found something. So I'm very happy about that, but I don't know why I'm talking in this voice exclusively. How does halitosis work for us? Well, I mean, first off, let's look at our other stats right now. It's not necessarily 10 out of 10. Speed is good. Like, first off, great Michael Douglas quote from the movie Wall Speed. Speed is good. Speed is good, though. The 1995 film starring Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock, that's a classic, man. So many people go, you know, lol, the bus that couldn't slow down. And that's fair. It's a good Simpsons joke. You know, there can be two good things that play off one another, but Speed itself is an action classic. If you don't like it, you can just get out, as far as I'm concerned. Did we have Unrock Tinted? I don't believe so. I want to use our Temperance card on the next floor to get a doubled blood bank. If we get... Excuse me. If we get an arcade on the next floor, we can make that happen. But we need money, and we got nothing out of that. So now it's time to look for a secret room. And then we didn't get anything there either. So I guess we say goodbye Temperance. We could use Temperance potentially to get a blood bank on the next floor if we're able to get enough red hearts to finance us playing it until we get to 5 cents. But that's kind of like a weird... You know, we're using our home as collateral to get a second mortgage on our home. It doesn't really... Look, I don't know if that's sound financial advice or financial idiocy. I honestly don't know the answer to that question. So we can just leave it right there. I chose a metaphor with which I'm not well versed, and as a result, I'm paying the cosmic price right now. Speed is good, rate of fire is average, damage is a little bit below average, and luck is negative. So I would give this like a 5. Our speed being up there is nice. I'm sorry, Temperance card. It's just not in the Temperance cards for us today to be with one another. So instead, we're going to use our Stars card right off the bat to hopefully get a little stacked, and I would suggest that did not work. But it did save us a key one way or the other. I hate it. I actually am mad. Genuinely, I'm a little cheesed. Because it's the second time in like 2 weeks, well, in like a week actually, that room has had an impact on our success. I don't know what you're supposed to do when they start exploding. I tried to keep myself like equidistant, but maybe I was slightly in one direction. Either way, dude, I was feeling a lost run. Let's do a lost run. I'm not upset. Again, in the end, I don't say this to degrade the hobby of gaming, but you know, I'm too old to get emotionally invested in the outcome of a game. And I've found myself doing it to some extent. Like, been playing a little Heroes of the Storm, and the MOBA Salt came back. I saw like the first stages of MOBA Salt, and I was like, is this even fun anymore? Like, or is it like, are MOBAs just... And if you like playing them, this is not an insult, you know. You're talking to somebody who's got like 900 hours in Dota 2 and stays away for that reason. But I saw the first stages of Dota Salt coming back, and I said to myself, I think this is just like psychologically manipulative. Like, it's a fun game when you're winning, and when you're losing, you feel like you're like the worst person on planet Earth. So I've put a nip in that bud, which I don't think is that expression's canonical way of being used, but I'm just... I got too many, like, real things in my life to be like, we lost due to some BS, and I'm mad about it, you know? I'm not saying... Obviously, like, I'm not saying, oh, you cried in Final Fantasy VII, oh, you little baby. Like, it's okay for games to make you emotional, but to be super invested in the outcome is not something that interests me that much at this point in my life. I want to play well, and I want to get better on a broad level, but mostly I want to provide entertaining content. I am a little mad at that room, though, because I don't think we deserved to die. But we did not just die because of the because of that room. We died because we took damage against Steven of all enemies, which is a little embarrassing in and of itself. I digress, though. Alright, so we're on a lost run. The lost starts with basically fundamentally exactly average stats, which is actually sort of nice, I guess, to have a consistent level of stats right now. We could probably use one bomb to get a lot of value. I'd love to get one more bomb for finishing the room. We got a key, which is also pretty good. But, you know, I'm thinking like one bomb, blow these guys up. We got 7 cents back for 5 cents and a full shop reroll. Tell you what, this is a weird purchase, but it works. Basically, for 2 cents, we don't need keys to go to item rooms and shops anymore. We don't care about having an arcade. So I think I'm gonna shoot for the moon here. We should... Tell you what. Drop it right here. I want Small Rock, obviously. That's the only thing that matters there, but it didn't work out, and that's A-okay. I'm gonna look at that Eden loss as a blessing, because it allows us to maybe go back to random runs for a while. I prefer... That was real bad. I prefer Eden runs to random runs, if I'm being 100% with you. But I like them both. It's like an 8 versus an 8.5 for me. The Eden thing is just... It's more fun when you start the run, because anything could happen. You know, you could be any combination of items and characters and stats, but I like mixing them up. That's just not an item we're looking for. But anyway, down to the next floor, and feeling fine. We didn't improve ourselves, but the Lost value proposition is all about, I guess, like, A, not losing focus, and then B, because it could be up in smoke in an instant, right? So, like, A, not losing focus, and B, your deals with the devil. If you can get good deals with the devil, and especially the earlier you can get them, you can win. I don't think it's tough to win with the Lost anymore, and I don't think I'm surprising anybody by suggesting that. I think the Lost might actually be in the easier third of characters in the game to win with, or maybe the easier half. Like, it's probably easier to win with Azazel. It's probably easier to win with Isaac. And then after that, I don't know. I don't think the Lost comes third necessarily. You know, maybe you got Cain. Maybe you got Samson. I think those are probably the next ones. Judas, though, I think it's harder to win with Judas than it is to win with the Lost. There's just more tolerance for inconsistent errors as the Lost. 48-hour energy. But anyway, we don't need to... The first rule of Isaac is you don't discuss Isaac, at least not at this point. So, will we use a key to go... Or sorry, a penny to go to our shop? That seems very sensible to me. And Tarot Cloth is like an actual 9 out of 10 item. So many useful Tarot Cloth enablers. So I think that we've got a great chance of winning this run. Or at least getting things off on the right foot if we can just not die against Little Horn. Which should be more or less automatic at this point, but I don't know. Did you see me fight Little Steven recently? Admittedly, that damage should have been somewhat consequence-free. It was just an unfortunate series of events that kind of put us in a tight spot, but anyway, I digress. Good, a damage upgrade, and then... Cambian Conception is actually meaningless, and Satanic Bible is actually meaningless. Satanic Bible, not fully meaningless, because we do get closer to Bookworm, but it's 1/3 of almost being as good as 2020. So I'm not even going to dignify that with, like, a thank you for giving us Satanic Bible. I am happy for precedent. That's about it. So we will get Tarot Cloth, and that's That's reassuring, because that item can do a lot for us. A Tarot Cloth Algiz rune, and the world's your oyster. If you can get blank card Tarot Cloth Algiz rune, like, cancel my appointments for later this afternoon. I don't have a point. Nobody wants to meet with me. On a Friday, no less. Now, we'll spend 1 penny to go to our item room, and then we're out of this floor. Dude, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll use Data Miner once, and there you go. We got a speed upgrade and a shot speed downgrade, and that's fine. It's actually completely okay. But it's, I will never be a Data Miner fan. Somebody sent us fan mail, and I can't tell if it was satirical. It's not like it was offensive at all, but they sent me fan mail, and they're like, you know, you got to embrace Data Miner as a good item. Nah, son, I don't. That's where you're wrong. I think can be a good item in our present situation. Well, when I mean it can be a good item, I mean basically if the variance gods are on your side, absolutely. But if they're not on your side, I think you're likely to end up in despair. That's not true for every item. I know you're gonna say, well, if randomness is on your side, then any item can be good or bad. No, but like a damage upgrade is a constant. You know, it's a scalar value. Data Miner is throwing your life away here. Kidney Stone, by the way, I realize we got two items that maybe some people like and some people dislike, but can be conceived as like zany showing up all at once here, and I'm going, I don't really want to take it. I don't want to take Kidney Stone. I have a good reason not to take Kidney Stone. Kidney Stone has betrayed me. I used to like it. I used to think, sure, sometimes it stops you from shooting, but then you unleash all your shots at once, and it's kind of nice. Instead, Kidney Stone now comes with a speed downgrade. It's like some art of the deal stuff that I have no tolerance for. Like, we had a good working relationship, and then all of a sudden, Kidney Stone is like, oh, so now I've got you right where I want you. I'm also gonna slow you down. How do you feel about that? So I'm taking a personal stand against Kidney Stone because it's trying to, I forget, there's like, in my first year of university, I took a psychology class where they talked about like common sales techniques. I think this is called a low ball. I can't remember. Give me a second. Let me Google what I think it is just to make sure that it's correct. No, that's not what it is. Anyway, I've forgotten what it means, but it's like a sales technique where you know, you shake hands. Maybe you're buying a fridge or something. You shake hands. Oh, a car is a much better example. You're at the dealership and they, you know, you're negotiating with one another, and you go, and really, like, that price would be nice, but at that price, I'm gonna need you to throw in leather seats. And the car salesman you're talking to is like, you know what? Let's shake on it. I can't guarantee it yet, but I think that deal's gonna be doable. And then you come, he gives you a call, and he goes, hey, come on over to the dealership. We can get the paper signed, and you're all happy. And then you get there, and he goes, by the way, we couldn't make that leather seats thing happen. While the pen is in your hand and the contract's in front of you, you know? He's made it so frictionless for you to sign the deal that he's changed the terms of it, and he thinks that your inertia is just gonna lead to you signing it. That's what Kidney Stone is doing to us right now, you know? We had a deal in place. You're gonna be weird, but occasionally half decent, and as a result, I'm not gonna plan C you, which is when I slander you with my propaganda. Instead, it goes, oh, by the way, you know how you used to have, like, decent speed when you picked me up? Yeah, we're gonna have to take that off the sorry, you know, dealer invoice pricing just isn't gonna be possible this year because of the recession. You know how it is. You're a big shot, so, you know, that's how it's gonna be. And then, you know what? That's not how it's gonna be. I'm taking a stand. I think, I don't know how many of these episodes recently have been like, this is how millennials think, but it's mostly because you know, we're all adults now. When I was 18, my fellow millennials were like, you know, between the ages of 12 and 18. It's hard to have a conversation. You'd be like, hey, how do you feel about social anxiety? And they'd be like, I really like Naruto. And I'd be like, okay, I'll check back on you in 2017. It's not that there's anything wrong with Naruto. I don't even know if that's how it's pronounced, but I know when I say Naruto, everybody laughs at me. It's like the inverse of how things work in the real world. We talk about anime, but anyway, I digress. So the point is, Naruto or no Naruto? Naruto or Naruto? Or Tuomo Rutu, former Chicago Blackhawks right winger. I support you. But I don't understand salesmanship. What is it? You walk into a clothing store. At some places I get it. If you walk into a car dealership, you're not just gonna like, oh, that's good stuff. You're not just gonna walk into a car dealership and go to the front desk and be, I will take one Ford Focus, please, with the, yeah, can I get extra leather in that? Like, that's just not conceivable. However, you walk into, like, a clothing store and they go, hey, you guys need any help? Yeah, I'm looking for clothes. Do you have any? Like, I can use my eyes. I'm aware of the situation in this establishment. One time, this actually happened. And you're gonna think that this, okay, I had a little inkling that I was gonna get a Skype message, but you're gonna think that this is not something that's happened. You know, and that's, I'm not, again, suggesting that I'm a comedian necessarily. What I will, I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna die in here. I took damage, and as a result, I can't escape. Is it because I went over the spikes? I've gotta re-roll my run. I'm probably still gonna die. What? So, your boy NL had a neural disengagement of some sort and thought that he was on a curse room, when in actuality, he was not on a curse room. You can see the conundrum. Now we no longer have Holy Mantle, and this presents a problem. See this? How's this looking? Pretty bad. We got to get something good as quickly as possible. This almost seems appropriate. We have Beelzebub right off the bat. We don't have Holy Mantle, so this is an old school Lost Run now. Anyway, you're gonna think this story is fake because that's oftentimes stories start with like, oh, I was walking down the street last week, and it never happened. It's just a pretense for the bit. But every other time I've been to a clothing store, when they go, hey, do you need help with something? I have said, no, I'm just browsing, thanks, because I'm an adult who's capable. This is not that good. I'm an adult who's capable of clothing shopping for himself. Please tell me that's not Ipecac. This is also not very good, but, I mean, we're a slave to the run at this point. One time, I went clothing shopping by myself. I'm not really, it was at Old Navy or something. But keep in mind, it was 10 years ago, so the preppy style was in, man. Anyway, it was more than 10 years ago, actually, at this point, probably. I went to Old Navy. And, I had picked out, like, a shirt or something. And, the sales clerk came over and said, hey, can I help you with anything? And I was like, yeah, can you let me know, like, what do you think would go well with this shirt? And she just went like, I mean, I don't really know. So, like, the gist of it was like, I actually, to this day, don't understand. Maybe I just got a bad dice roll. I'm not trying to throw shade at that sales consultant necessarily, but if not for that question, I don't understand the purpose of people asking you that at a clothing store, unless you're like, do you have pants? And they're like, yeah, the pants are in the pants aisle, and you're like, oh, all right, of course, has silly me, right? I don't know what I'm trying to do here. I guess we should open these and hope that we get 9 lives or something, but like the one time I was like, I'm gonna ask a genuine question because I'm not sure. I was like, you know, what would go with this, you know, $8 t-shirt? And she was just like, she had no valuable information to present to me. And as a result, I've been forever jaded on the clothing store sales associate shuffle, more or less. I can't afford to take this because it could be paralysis. Now, I'm imagining in my advanced adolescence here, I'm imagining I probably just got a bad dice roll on a sales associate and I'm giving the rest a bad name. That's not my intention. My intention is just to divine what an actual normal interaction in this situation would be. We're still re-rolling, by the way, even though this run is good. Because we need to be so strong that we can't be stopped. Or we need to, like, we need to get Dark Judas and then die, basically. This is not good. We need something that we can respawn with, and we do not have that at the present moment. Oh, no kidding. There's a secret room there. I never would have expected that. Who would have thought? Oh, it's a 1-up. So a 1-up is actually very huge. Because of Curse of the Unknown, I can't tell, or I won't be able to tell if we get to keep the 1-up if we die. Or sorry, not if we die, but if we reroll. I'm unsure. Like, I for one, I understand, at least on a broad level, the implications of automation. It's a very scary thing, and you might not appreciate that, necessarily. If you're on the younger side, like, you know, you're like 14 or 15 right now, you're like, automation is 100% good. How could it not be? You get faster service, you get better service. Sure, people lose their jobs, but like, you know, get with the times, Grandpa. It's all well and good when you're 14. I mean that sincerely. It's probably all well and good when you're 28 as well. So I feel you on that one. But you got to think, like, if you're a 58-year-old truck driver, you know, you got a job driving trucks 37 years ago or something like that, and you're like, I'm just gonna, here's the contract, planet Earth. I'll do this job. It's not glamorous, but it's got some perks and it's got some negatives. I'll do this job until I'm like 65. Then I'll retire, I'll live modestly, and that'll be fine. And instead, now we're like, we're gonna replace like the whole industry with self-driving cars. It's very scary. You're like, I've got a mortgage, you know, I've got to help my kids get through college because, you know, Lord knows they can't get a job these days either thanks to automation. I'm not saying automation is a bad thing, just that it's scary, you know. But if you're if you're like an undereducated 50 or something man or woman and you work at like a fast food restaurant, your jobs are being phased out by kiosks or something like that. Is it a sign of the times? Yeah, like definitely. You know, progress is important. You know, we're not all using the horses and buggies anymore, and I think we can mostly agree that that's probably a good thing. But it was very disruptive to the furrier industry, I'm sure, you know, the horseshoe salesmen, horse cobblers. Please be alges. Pair throw is also potentially pretty valuable. We need the reroll, though. But you can see how it would be scary, but, like, I, for one, am basically all for it. Because selfishly, it's going to be hard to replace YouTube with automation, you know? I think I benefit from having a very unique, not necessarily good, but very unique set of neural misfires that, oh, it's got to be done. 9 lives. We are so much more well-equipped now. Wow, we got a range upgrade, amazing. We can't reroll this anymore. Well, we might keep 9 lives now that I think about it, but we don't have Curse of the Unknown either. That's just how the Lost is. Right, yeah. Okay, so good one. You know, I think I have a unique brain that's going to be hard to emulate in a robotic level, but the Spectre may come for me eventually. The idea being that once we can make robots that can eventually make better robots. You know what? Get out of here. Get that trash out of here. Once we can make robots that can make better robots, you know, computer programmers are like, we're kind of done. Unless you need us to hit the off switch. Oh, just a dystopian robot, just set that flag to false. So we do get to keep our respawn ability here, which is nice on the reroll. So now we can just play as if we have the D4 and 9 lives and not the Lost, and we can try to reroll into a run that's amazing, which hopefully hits before we find ourselves being like super flipping dead, because we're having some problems here in case you haven't noticed. Not that I'm a professionally employed computer programmer, but you know, I'm putting in the time right now is what I'm saying. Okay, this room is so not worth it if you can't get hit at all. What are you thinking here? You might think, what happened? You were doing fine, you didn't take any damage, and then you've come down here and you've lost so many lives to enemies that are not that hard. Yeah, well, our full run reroll took something away from every single stat, gave me Cursed Eye, and reduced my speed by like 60%. So I'm dealing with a little bit of an adjustment period here. Like Wake Up by the Arcade Fire, you know? I'm trying. The problem, this is, I don't know, this is good to say, but the problem I have with automation now is that there's still like a human element at some point. Like, all of the McDonald's near here have the kiosks so that you can order manually on the kiosk. Or automatically, I guess I should say, on the kiosk. You make your order, and then, great items, by the way. You make your order, and then the order, when you're done and it's paid for, gets sent to the kitchen, and then humans make your food and present it to you. There's still an element of human error. If you enter the order improperly, of course that can institute some error, but I don't know what you do about that. But the other one is the people who read the order off the screen could end up making a mistake. Like, and this is not a revelation to anybody, and nor is it a damnation of the service industry. I hate when people go, I went to McDonald's and I ordered barbecue sauce, but they gave me sweet and sour. I hate those idiots, you know? They're just people trying to make it work, you know? They're working a 12-hour day at McDonald's. They don't have it out for you. They don't have like an anti-barbecue sauce agenda, all right? They made a mistake. It happens. But like 3 weeks ago, Kate was like, "Hey, can you pick up some food from McDonald's on your way home?" And I was like, "Yeah, what do you have?" And she said, "I'll have a 10-piece meal." Oh, a 10-piece chicken McNugget meal with fries and, you know, a drink. It doesn't matter what the drink is in this context. And I said, you know what? That sounds good. All the same thing. So I placed the order. It was 2 identical meals. And then I picked up the bag and I got in my car and I went home. And then when I got home, they had provided only 1 meal. And I completely, on a human level, understand how that could happen. Because there was literally no difference between the orders. You go, oh my lord. Okay, we have a charge. Just reroll it, dude. Plus 40 damage. Ipecac? Ipecac. Scary, but also good. Because there's literally no difference between the order. What? What? Let me offer my hypothesis for what happened there. No, I don't have one. I don't have one. What is shooting? I'm not shooting. There's like an invisible boy behind me who's shooting. I need to reroll this ASAP. Like when I shoot, the shot comes from like an incubus at the back of the screen or something. Oh, because we have Monstros Lung. We must also have like a Fate's Reward or something like that. This is horrible. This reroll cannot come soon enough. I think we may also have Kidney Stone, but I'm unsure. Yeah, this is scary, dude. We might be on like 3 lives. It's kind of a weird way to squander a run, but I mean, have you seen it? You've been to both item rooms. They were both basically worthless. The shop is important because we can get another reroll in there. And obviously, like, in case you haven't noticed, this probably isn't like the run that I want to stick with right here. We got 4.5 damage and we shoot once every 45 years. Anyway, the point is, from the McDonald's story, before I went, excuse me, it's an understandable order to make because the orders that I presented were, it was 2 of the exact same thing. So I guess, you know, it's somewhat easier to understand how they could perceive that as being only 1 order. And it's on me. I should have checked it when I was in the restaurant, but I was in a hurry, and I use the term restaurant loosely, but also as a term of endearment. And I left without doing my due diligence, and as a result, you know, there's an element of buyer beware there for certain. But at the same time, I was like, when the robots read the orders and prepare the food, that's not going to happen. And I don't take that as an indictment of the people who work in this food service industry. I take it as an indictment of humankind in general. We're error-prone creatures. I wish we weren't, but we, you know, we lose focus. Even the best baseball players make, like, unerror a season, basically. Even if it is such a noteworthy thing that it's like, it has its own spot on the scoreboard. Like, that's the thing. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just the way we is. What a strange way to phrase that. It was per throw. Okay. I think we will lose this run. Oh, Bob is building an army. Sweet. We got the Bob transformation, everybody. Nobody fear. We got the... Oh, good. And we're stopping on marked. Exquisite. Well, Judgment, I don't know what you've got for me. This run has absolutely mind-flooded me past the point of, like, sensibility. I don't understand what's happening here. I wish I could see how many lives we have. We do still have the cat head, so we've got at least 2. Of course. HP. This is halitosis. This is halitosis. Sha-na-na-na-na-na. I don't know. We live in interesting times, I guess, is what I'm saying from that perspective. But I feel for you, like, sincerely. I'm definitely not, like, a progress trumps everything sort of dude. So if you've, you know, lived your whole life as a truck driver, especially if you're, like, you know, you're... Even 58 was not a good example, because maybe you could just run it out. You know, it might be some time before self-driving cars hit that level of zeitgeist and you can still be there. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But, you know, if you're like 39 and self-driving, you're like, okay, I see the writing on the wall. Within 30 years, like, my job's not going to exist. Then that's... I mean, it's easy if you're very young. You can say, like, oh, you know, just go back to school and get re-educated in another field. But it's not that easy once you have some inertia in your life, you know? Once you got people relying on you and, you know, maybe you got kids, you got bills, etc., etc. It's not anybody's fault necessarily, but it's, I have sympathy for that. It's remarkably real for an Isaac episode right now. By the way, I love Booger Tears, but I'm not convinced that this run has what it takes with its present setup to make the dream work. And I'm not talking about the studio that brought you Ants, B-Movie, and Shrek. Yes, that's DreamWorks, correct. Which I believe means Teamworks is involved in some... Okay, that's a bad joke. Reroll. We got Stompy, Isaac's Heart. Well, that's an interesting situation. What would you do here? We've lost our cat head. This is our last life. I think we try to beat Mom's heart. Why is this dangerous, by the way? We have fruitcake. We're firing infinity shots per second. I tried. I genuinely... We're back. Okay, we're Dark Judas. What? What? It's a miracle. But also, like, still pretty bad. Soy milk fruitcake is just god-awful. I mean, Isaac's Heart is not helping anybody. But soy milk fruitcake, dude. This is kind of my own personal hell. Please pop up. You're not touching the fire right now? Pardon me. Spirit hearts, please. Okay, we got one spirit heart. Why am I doing this room, even though it's probably likely to be harder than the other rooms? Because it's going to give me 3 charges for doing it. So, I think it's the fastest way for us to get this run under control. What's sad is that the damage output from this is actually really good. If we could just get immunity to explosions, I would be loving life. But that's a great example of why, despite the rose-colored glasses I have on, we can't make this run, like, work for us consistently. Nor can we make this run work for us consistently, so basically, darned if you do, darned if you don't, man. We have no shot speed, is what it seems like here. So, I mean, we have Infestation 2, which is incredible, but we have, like, no shot speed. So we got scatter bombs. So we really, you just, like, dump these bombs and then run for your life. It's really good until it isn't. We had to reroll, basically. Otherwise, we would have been dead, so... I don't love that I rerolled there, because that run had some good stuff going for it. But we're in full, like, D4 is the only way forward right now sort of mode. This is a very, very strange episode. We died to a room that I've come to hate. Vilified the working class. I hope that's not the way that that came across. It's not my intention at all. But no, I don't think it came across like that to begin with. Do we get another Dark Judas? What's our respawn right now? Can you come back as Dark Judas twice and get the damage bonus twice? I doubt it. So we might as well respawn. Like, we might as well not reroll. This run is okay. If we could do this, like, not re-roll the whole run yet, respawn as Blue Baby or... Oh, no, I see it right there. It's Lazrags. But then the problem is if we re-roll into Lazrags on the next room, we're gonna... Or, like, after we die, we could get no HP and hate it. So let's re-roll again. We still have 1 life. This seems good. It's, like, actual good damage. 10 damage with a 5 rate of fire. It's perfect. It's all I've ever wanted. It's all I ever needed, yeah. So tell me what to do now, 'cause How close are we to making the Guppy dream? Maybe we should have stuck with the paw. Doesn't really matter. I want to keep the D4 just in case, but we're only 1 item away from making the Guppy dream work, I think, so there is a chance there. We used 9 lives on, like, 2 floors. That is hilarious. The run was garbage, but we rolled into so many bad runs in a row. But now it's all coming up, you know, roses for us. Roses might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but you get the idea. We don't need money. We actually can't make the Hush fight. All the runs I've done today have had, like, no chance at boss rush and no chance at Hush. I'm not complaining, because they've been interesting. More interesting than just your standard steamroll anyway, but... I'm envious of a former time when it seemed like every single run could make boss rush. It's that TNT room, man. I need to build like an Isaac mod that just allows you to practice that room over and over. At which point I will destroy my own enjoyment of this game. And that would be that, I suppose. Maybe we'll just focus on the fact that you still like the game after all these years and you had a choice of things to play today. You chose to play Isaac. That says a lot. I think we also have the wafer right now. We took half damage from that, at least, is what it seemed like to me. We gotta deal. Make me Guppy. Oh, it didn't make me Guppy, but Incubus is also, like, really good, so... Yeah, this is gonna be solid. Let's take one makes you larger. If you get enough of those, or if you get enough size upgrades, it gives you Stompy. Weirdly enough, but I don't think that's good. But I do think it's weird, so... I'm for it. I'm very pro weirdness in this situation. You know, harmless weirdness. Like dressing up like you're from the 1800s. Some kind of weirdo. I use weirdo as a term of endearment, sincerely. I'm a little weird. 28 years old and my job requires me to sit... Requires is a negative word here. My job allows me to sit inside, play video games, and crack jokes to myself for hours and hours a day. I basically get paid to talk to myself. That kind of career has existed for a while, I suppose, like as a radio DJ and stuff like that, but it's a little different. Because sometimes they get calls. Can you play Miami by Will Smith? Apparently it's all a sham, at least on a lot of like larger radio stations. Like they already have the programming that they're gonna play, which is set by like some higher up. And then they will only play your request on the radio. Like they'll play like you calling and being like, can you play Miami by Will Smith? If they were already gonna play Miami, and then it makes them look good, right? I'm not trying to be like, oh, you know, wake up, sheeple. It does make sense. You know, it engenders a little bit of public support. If you're like, you get the impression that you're playing user-submitted requests, but really, you're just like, I was gonna play it anyway, but now it looks sweet. So, I don't know. I'm still like 75-25 we're gonna win here. That should be Bookworm. It is Bookworm. And Shielded Tears, do we have piercing shots in any way? We're about to find out, I suppose. No, but it's good. But I'm gonna reroll anyway because I can't be stopped. We rerolled into Spider Baby? There's a Spider Baby transformation? Am I losing my mind? By the way, this reroll was amazing. For many reasons. The static tier combination is what's giving me life right now. But I'm also kind of stunned. Is there another transformation I was completely unaware of? Or am I actually just forgetting that Spider Baby was like a real thing that I've never known? I know Spider Babby's an item. Like, look at, what is that spider thing walking around here? It's not Spider Mod. It's not Sissy Longlegs. It's like it's got a Spider Baby hanging out here. I have no idea. So much to do, so much to see, apparently. Still, in this day and age. So I re-rolled my amazing run with like half a second left. Please don't make me go to the void floor after that. Dude, strange run, but hey, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. That's technically a lost win. That is technically a Lazarus win or win. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm stretching. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.